on, you guys? This is Tim Odell with Odell Complete Concrete. We're here on the second phase of this job. We got the whole backyard patio done. That's gonna be, well, you've probably actually already seen the video, but now we're back doing the side yard. We're gonna be concreting everything from the wall to the railroad tie. We're gonna be putting some drains in. There's the basketball hoop that the homeowner Stump put up. I can ball up right over here. And it's going to be even better when we have this whole side yard concreted in, because now we'll really be able to play. Have a little full court thing going on over here. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Phone started going off and had to take the call, so I cut the live action a little short. But as I was saying, here's pretty much what the job's looking like when we first got there. Pretty much like I was saying, we're going to be going from the house to the railroad ties, concreting the whole side yard, making it way more usable and just enjoyable in general. Plus, it's not really good to have, you know, a sprinkler planter bed on the side of your house. Water, moisture, all those kind of problems. Oh, and then here's the backyard when the homeowner put all of his stuff back on the patio. Jacuzzi, table, barbecue, just utilizing his patio unlike before. If you have seen the previous video, if you haven't, I'll put a link in the description and you can check it out. But yeah, so here we are starting to jackhammer out this concrete, and the concrete was actually pretty damn thick. It was like 6 to 7 inches, I believe. So me and Sam actually got pretty lucky. We were able to get everything in the trailer in one load, brought it all to the dump, and we took it to a concrete recycling dump so we could save some money. So I suggest you always separate all your loads from trash, concrete, and dirt if you can. Alright guys, here's a little bit of a tricky part on the concrete slab that we're trying to do right now. We're trying to get the old out without cracking our new poured concrete. And you see, there's a little bit of a wedge right here due to the fact that this was already existing and we wanted to pour flush with the house. So, trying to make sure that I can pull this old concrete away from ours so it doesn't try to push back and cause any spalling on the edge of our concrete. So that's a little delicate process right there. So that concrete actually came out pretty nicely away from our new concrete. No problems there. Came out very smoothly. Didn't wreck or ruin our new concrete. So me and Sam just kept switching off on the jackhammer. One of us would pretty much, I think it was like every 6 feet they jointed this concrete. So every time we took about a 6-foot section out, we'd switch off on the jackhammer, and one of us would be loading and running wheelbarrows while the other one was breaking out, just so we didn't kill each other, you know, doing this just me and him. It's nicer that way too. One of us takes a little break while one of us gets a workout, and we just keep switching back and forth. Definitely didn't have to hit that gym today. And on top of that, guys, this is we're actually doing these jobs after working with my dad. So, you know, we've already got a workout at the beginning of the day. Now we're hitting that second shift, getting that extra workout in. But it's nice getting these extra side jobs and being able to make more videos for you guys, plus being able to share my experience with you guys. So we're just about done wrapping this side yard up, getting all the concrete out. And like I was saying earlier, it's always best to separate the concrete from trash, from dirt, if you can. So we definitely wanted to separate everything, and we took all the concrete to the dump. Now we're just going to be loading up our trash load, just dirt, roots, a weed barrier, as you can see that we're pulling up on the side of the house. Just grabbing all the loose bark and any loose material that would decompose under the concrete. And there was one drain at the very end of this concrete, and we decided to just utilize that one drain since we had good fall from our existing concrete in the back to the front of this patio area for the side yard. So it worked out in our favor, which is always nice. And there was some drains under this dirt that we had to take out or cap, because they didn't go anywhere and they were just getting full of roots, and we don't want roots clogging up the drainage system. And then what we did right there was we were measuring out the distance of how much fall we had from the back to the front of the side patio, which I believe it was in 38 feet 8 inches, which is plenty of slope. And also, if you guys do want to watch the very first videos of where I was doing this guy's backyard, I explained like the whole math equations on getting your fall in a certain amount of length or distance. And the really hard part about this job was getting that stump out right there that we're working on. So you can see there it is. And the homeowner actually went to town on himself, tried burning the top. We just dug around it. Nice little stump that was hidden under the dirt. We're using some old posts to pry against to really rip it from the ground, get the roots gone. Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is the third day on the job, final day for the setup, and only struggle we're really going through right now is getting this big old stump out. We bought a prying bar, and the homeowner actually went to town on it when he got home from work, helping us out a little bit. So we're gonna start getting to work on this, and we're gonna put all the rebar in, do the layout, and this job only requires one form board actually at the very end underneath that gate. And I think we're actually just gonna be utilizing the one drain at the very end, because me and Sam, we both measured out the distance, or we used our laser, the DeWalt laser level from this point, and we measured all the way to the very back, and it showed we had about 8 inches in a 38 feet run, which gave us about 1.5% slope. So we have good slopage to the front, and it's on a natural hill, so I think the one drain back there will do just fine for this job. But other than that, we're gonna get to work, guys, and we're gonna get the stump out. So after slamming this stump with the sludge and using the DeWalt Sawzall, finally got that stump free, took it out. Now we're pretty much just grading the whole side yard with our 4-foot rake. Plus what we're doing right here with that 2x4 in the background is we're checking to make sure we have slight slope from the house to the railroad ties, because we'd rather the water slope away from the house than having it all just level across going the same way. We'd rather have it all sloping towards the drain plus like a little away from the house. And then what I did right there with that 2x4 was I cut it so that I could rod with it, but we actually just ended up using a 6-foot Milwaukee level to rod with instead of a 2x4. So now we just breaking out the plate compactor. We're going to be compacting this dirt to full compaction, and we're also, I don't think I got this on footage, but we also flooded the side yard as well to make sure that we're at maximum expansion for the side yard soil, so that if water was to ever get under the concrete, or we had like a flood or something like that and the dirt was to expand, it wouldn't expand and crack our concrete because the soil would already be at maximum expansion. And now we're just putting our rebar in. Sam cut them on the outside of the house, got all the pre-measurements, and then just brought everything in. I think we put everything on about a 2-foot center, and we tied everything up. We ended up just pulling the rebar up as we poured out. And then here's that drain at the very end, which was already popped up and was being utilized before, and the homeowner didn't have any problems before, so I just decided to utilize it again, and made sure everything was sloping properly to the drain. Plain and simple. So there it is right there. And here's how it looks when it's all set up and ready to pour out. Had a couple extra rebars, so we just threw it in. You can see the extra two on each side. So here we are on the concrete pour day. We brought Evan again because he's a great finisher. Makes it very easy and an enjoyable concrete day. Like I'm always trying to say, Evan's got amazing concrete finishing work. Oh, and here's us pulling up the rebar, just so no one freaks out on us saying, "Oh, you didn't put dobies under the concrete." Well, we pulled it up so it lays and sits in the middle. And then you can see Sam's right behind Evan in the pumper, pulling that rebar up, making sure that none of that rebar stays low. Then here's the lines that we snapped against the red tie or the railroad ties. You can see Evan's got a really sweet technique when it comes to laying the concrete down flush against that those marks. We pretty much set up the canvas for him, and he just comes in and lays it down like an artist. There's that 6-foot red stick from Milwaukee that he ended up using to rod with. It's nice because you can check your levels with it at the same time. And then here I am on the side helping Evan float, but mainly just trying to bring you guys that sweet, nice up close footage. Here's a bowl float that he really enjoys. His wooden bowl float, 4 feet in length. The wider you get your bowl float, the flatter you're gonna get your concrete, of course, because of how much it can reach and lay down at the same time. Evan just has this natural act for laying concrete down when he's rodding or floating with the bowl float. But that stuff just comes with experience and time, especially with the time he's put in the union. He's put, couldn't tell you how many hours, but he's worked like 20-hour shifts. Just intense stories he's told me about finishing concrete all day. And then you can see he does a great job of rodding, because if he didn't, you would see some concrete being pulled or dragged with his wooden bowl flow in open hole areas. We had taken that fence door off just to make it easier. I should have taken that off in the very first place, but took it off, made it easier for Evan to rod the rest of this concrete back. Now here's Evan going over everything with the bowl float again, hitting any low spots or trying to expose any low spots in the concrete so we can throw concrete back in there if needed. And you can see he really takes his time on the bowl float, really to lay it down flat. It's always nice if you can bowl float in both directions. And you can see he's dragging some of the cream back, jiggling his bowl float, because he noticed that there was a low spot. And when you're bowl floating, you can actually feel the difference in concrete heights as you're bowl floating. So you can kind of feel where it needs concrete dragged. And he also, we had some leftover concrete from the concrete pumper in that bucket in the bottom right of the screen. So he placed some concrete in low spots that he noticed when he was bowl floating. We have Sam going down the edge. And here's that 6-foot joint cutter that Evan always brings on all of his jobs. Always very nice and very easy. When it's an 8-foot side yard concrete patio, pretty much lay that down right straight with it, and you don't even need to worry that it's not going to be crooked or anything like that, because it's already pretty much the whole length of the side yard. Here's his joiner, just cleaning the joints after he cut them. Now he just broke out his funny float, floating the whole top surface, bringing that cream up, and he's joining the concrete right there next to the existing concrete to get a straight joint. and this was some fine-tuning detail right here next to the joint. He brought out some special margin trowels for that, just so you can get a nice finish around that drain. And in total, the concrete. Oh, and here's the steel trowel, the steel funny trowel that he finishes with. But in total, I believe this job took us about 5 hours. About 5 hours from start to pour to finish. I believe this was the last pass that we did for the day. It's always nice to have your square trowel and your round trowel with you when you're doing your final pass, because you'll scrub with your square, break up the top surface, get the cream going, and then finish with your pool trowel. Get that nice clean finish. And then we just broke out the 50% nylon, 50% horsehair broom, starting to put that nice clean finish on the concrete. Brooming it opposite way from where you walk, to have a little more traction, a little more safe. Putting a little bit of water on the top surface because it was hardening up pretty quick. Get a nicer medium broom finish on there. You can see that the concrete is actually coming out really nice, really beautiful. Perfect finish. And then there's that drain where all the water is going to be going to. And then we're also going to be taking out all that concrete in the front, but that's gonna be phase 3, and I'm doing this guy's driveway eventually. But here it is, guys. When it's all said and done, you can actually see the slope if you look at the weep screed. As the gap gets bigger as it goes towards that drain, and smaller as it goes up towards our existing patio that we poured in the first videos. But here it is, guys. Another beautiful finish. Beautiful job. Came out great. Got great slope. Couldn't be happier. So if you guys like this video, or if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Me and my dad, we really appreciate that. And stay tuned for more videos coming in the future, guys. We love sharing our work, and we love hearing from you guys. Have a great one.